Hello and welcome into today's Live Tuesday. We are joining in with, here's Pam. Hello, Pam. Jess. Hello, Jess. Jess is coming in.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. Let's get started today. Hi, you look great, Pam.
Oh, thanks.
Hi, Jess. Hello, hello. I am super excited for this morning. Today's a fun day, and I've been inspired lately. And so I'm sharing. I kind of have a revved engine today. Did you notice my post?
Yes.
Like, pick me a fast car. That's me today. And I wanted to get ready because, well, there's a lot going on. April has a lot of fast energy. It's the first month of the year that we get in. It's the first sign of an astrology year. So it's fire. It's very fast. It's air. I don't know what it is. I'm not an astrologist, but it's movement. I'm a Pisces, so I'm the last sign of the year. I'm very slow by nature, but I am what they call a Pisces Aries rising. So a lot of people see me as an Aries. I can get into this revved fast motion pretty fast. And in the past, I used to feel that activation and go, oh shit, what am I doing? And I would go numb out. So today is talking about how our nervous system can really wreck our body. And then in the past several years, in the past 8 years, as a matter of fact, 8 years ago today, I was in an operating room getting my second transplant. So yeah, thank you,
I
Pam, for
I
recognizing
saw it.
that. I
Yeah, yeah.
know you were around in our clinic during that time. You've been around in our life for so long. Thank you. And it's exciting because today I've also been invited up at the Methodist Hospital here in Houston to share a video testimony of my transplants. And
Awesome.
yeah, I'm really, really, really excited about this. So I have that engine going. I'm like a little like nervous, excited energy. And what I used to do was just go blah. I would blurt out too much. You can tell by my energy. I am talking faster than normal. But what is it's excitement. And I love
Yeah,
to be excited. And that's a good energy. But yet
yeah.
I used to run and go, and not really be present. And that's the difference is I would go numb out or would drink too much coffee or somehow it wouldn't be an energy that I felt safe to stay in. That's what it is. So
Hmm.
anybody else recognize when you have an activation of maybe it's a relationship, maybe there's a time in a relationship where you've historically found that you're arguing and no matter the topic, you're just like, I'm done. I'm packing my bags. I'm gone. You're running away. Or you're just melting, going, I'm sorry, and you're giving up all of your power. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Those are two different sides. And maybe you're anxious attachment, and maybe you're like, what can I do to make this up? And attachments come in a lot with our nervous system. They happen to all be wired limbically in our system from conditioning from when we're really young. There's also, those are two patterns I know I've been in, especially if you've had any trauma, any chronic illness. Those kinds of things can help um, raise those states to where they're more prevalent. It's very natural for somebody who's been in trauma to gravitate towards an anxious or avoidant attachment style. And then have that follow through in your nervous system. You'll be pushing things away or you'll be anxiously grabbing them. It can come with money as well. I see you nodding, Jess. Thank you so much. The money can be that way as well. We can be money can come in and you could be like, oh my gosh, I got to pay all these bills, and oh my gosh, I get to spend it. Which one are you? Or
Hmm.
are you hoarding it away, like, I won't have enough, I have to sock it away, it's not safe to hold money. There's also how we are just with other, with other things in our life. So that also is with regards to money, finances, our health. We could be running in the kitchen and just numbing it with food. We could be so avoidant that we're not eating very well. And then you're just starving and you'll eat anything. So that's part of the pillars that we talk about in unprocessing. And we get to unprocess it, how to make sense of it now. So it feels safer to be present. And of course, I have a breath for us too in a little while so that we can practice this because that is my mode of staying present is to take that beautiful breath. So, Jess, I love that you guys come on here because, yeah, until we get more people coming on here, I get to relay this to you guys and ask you. I saw you nodding. Was there a part of that that you resonated with, Jess?
Yeah, a little bit of everything, career, household, financials, projecting the future a lot. Yeah, it all resonated to a certain degree, and then within each one, right, like professional and career wise, there's client relationships that there's some ones that I feel very at ease with, and others, leading up to maybe a sync up with them or meeting with them, I do get kind of those nerves, even though I'm confident in what I know and what I do. It's just kind of that relationship with certain people. Um, so yeah, it kind of all to a degree resonated.
And do you notice it? Because in what I'm talking about often too is just that we'll turn off and we'll go on autopilot. We won't be as in the driver's seat, understanding that we need to put on the brake, which is how we breathe and get up to the parasympathetic so that we're really present with them. Or do we just go on autopilot and hit play and just or on a Zoom just go, okay, let's go see where this goes without a plan? Which one do you notice both at times in
Yeah,
your life?
I think like I said, sometimes project the future, right? So that is kind of like a plan A, plan B, and maybe how I go into things. But at the same time, there is a part of me now being a mom where I'm trying to be less of that control. I don't want to say control, but it is a sense of control where I just like, well, what happens is what happens, and I kind of react to, that unknown. So,
I resonate with that too. Up until recently, I would, I would let somebody else dictate what happens with money because I wasn't the one who was necessarily making all the money. However, that wasn't always the case. And I recognized, where did I lose my power or where did I feel more out of control? And what happens then is you get money in, you're like, what can we do with it? And what we found out is, if we do have a plan, we know where our money goes. If you're into your money, touching your money, then it has a better feel. We don't get as anxious around it and say, I know when the money comes in, a certain percentage automatically goes to savings or tax planning or, life insurance, whatever. You have boxes for things, it feels better to be really present with it. And if you have an ability to slow down with looking at how you come across with other people, you have a felt sense of presence and you're in more apt to find out where they are. It's not just about me. Although the world does revolve around me, it's me and my life. It's more fun when I have other people around. And so it's more fun to say hello and then get into normally I'm on a time limit today, so I wanted to get going and get started. But normally I love to be in here and say, hi ladies, how you doing? And we have a few minutes before we hit record. And sometimes it's not that way.
That's life.
Sometimes, sometimes we recognize, but if we have a plan, I like what you said. Having a plan feels nice and steady.
Hmm.
And then you can veer off. Things do happen on that life, on that highway. But you have a plan and my car works. I know I have gas, so I'm going to be okay. I have gas in the tank. I don't always have to get in, just start it and go no matter what and drive all willy nilly. And that I love to relate it to a car often because it's a transmission. We can downshift. We talked about that before. And so I appreciate you sharing that so much because it's all very relative. And at least you're not going on autopilot, you're allowing it. And so many times we go on autopilot, we're not feeling. And that's the part that it's okay to feel anxious. It's okay at sometimes, like Pam was just saying, things happen. We're
Hmm.
sometimes we do feel excited, and it's okay to bring that forward and to be honest and share that. Pam, have you had something recent that you would like to share on this topic as well that you found in your life might bring that up to you?
I can't think of anything specific. I know that I know that anxiety comes and goes for different things. I know can waste a lot of your life worrying about things that don't happen. Um, and a lot of times I've said to myself, and I've gotten to the point now that when I start to feel anxiety about a decision that has to be made or something that's coming up, I say, well, just stop it, because most of the things you worry about happening don't happen. The bad things,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, the bad things. That's you're wasting your joy. You're wasting your time in doing those things. I mean, more in being anxious and worrying about it. But like you said, it's okay to be anxious. It is wonderful to be excited, and I don't think we have to be one thing all the time. But we need to know how to get through what we need to get through and move on. And don't stay in any place. Don't park your car in any one lot and leave it there.
Thank you. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I'm thinking of your car analogy here.
Yes, I appreciate that. A lot of it is also holding on tightly. Like we don't get out of our car because it doesn't feel safe. Um,
Absolutely. That's a
and
real good one. Yes.
And sometimes holding on so tightly does create anxiety that doesn't necessarily need to be there.
Right.
Wealth is a part of that too. And I would love to start talking about wealth a little more because the capacity that we have to hold, to stay present in a relationship, is all of that with regards to our nervous system. And
Hmm.
do we feel safe? And
Hmm.
noticing, is this a good anxious feeling? Like, am I excited or is it an anxiousness that is feeling unsafe?
Hmm.
And what do we do when we have the unsafe feelings? And it's a dysregulated nervous system that sometimes we just can't hold, especially again, if it is based in trauma or conditioning that we've just have yet to really sense our way through. Our peripheral
Hmm.
nervous system or our nervous system goes on sensing a lot of times. Even in our clinic, we go through and we come in and we don't just go right to the table and get adjusted. We go in and we work on our body, we move. And a lot of those movements that we're doing have to do in that chair that we're sitting on the wobble disc, we're feeling different, we're noticing our body, and we're changing our state. And that has a lot to do with our peripheral nervous system of getting in the room, putting our phone away. That's a big one. You know, do you wake up and grab your phone? That dopamine hit that we've talked about.
Hmm.
This all hits our nervous system differently. And I will say this again and again that ever since 2020, I mean, heaven said we get to ground ourselves. And how are you grounding yourself? Or are you giving your authority away by feeling that you have to look outside of yourself for information on how to live my day?
Hmm.
And the moment of truth comes is we were not told how to slow down, especially since 2020, when we literally still now, because of, if you watch the news, there's so much of this resonance energy that's very similar to that time as we don't really know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
And because we can hold on to that, we weren't taught how to slow down. You were actually rewarded for pushing through in the past, you know? So understanding this is not a discipline power, you know, it's not a discipline thing. It isn't a willpower. It's not you're right or wrong if you're doing it right or wrong. It's a nervous system problem, and the body keeps score whether or not you've acknowledged it. You, I
Oh, the
like
body does keep score. Yes, it does.
we can think we're doing things right, and our body's
Hmm.
like, hell no, I'm not gonna go.
Hmm.
And that is where we get to take the foot off of that pedal and recognize that we have tools. One of the reasons I absolutely advocate and talk ad nauseum probably about breath work is that we always have it with us, no matter what. It's a learned experience that we get to have a truth felt sense for. So when we slow down and partner it with a slower breath, in through our nose, out through our mouth, you can be having a conversation like we are now, and nobody has to know that you're breathing differently
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
order to regulate yourself. Yeah. And this is where you don't have to stop moving. You don't have to say, I can't talk on the Zoom right now. I need to go breathe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
Excuse me, I need to breathe.
yeah, I need to go breathe. But the thing is that safety does come when we start to recognize our signal. The only thing that God gave us in this vessel, in our body, in our vehicle, to change this consciously was to change our breath. Our heart beats the way it does. Our lungs will always breathe this way. When we can consciously slow the heck way down, and I want to use another word,
The frick.
we can do it on purpose anytime with our breath. And it actually is a sense of power when we do slow down, as far as other people sensing it. You know, you can sense it when somebody walks in the room and they're looking around and they're just not really comfortable in their body, in their skin, and they're darting around. That's the sign of somebody who's anxious, who's not feeling safe. Or the other person, even on a Zoom, who walks in and they're really direct, they're able to hold eye contact, they can speak slower. That one has the capacity, the practice to hold space differently. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what comes from when you choose to super breathe, to superimpose your will on everybody else. And that feels very powerful. And I'll say that comes from me when I didn't feel so powerful in my life. You know, being on two different transplants, I had two different experiences. Both transplants, I've had two. One was from a living donor and one was a gift from somebody who left the planet. And yet, one of them gave me a sense of feeling safe in my body because it was a healthy one. This one, that surgeon walked out and said, "This is a perfect transplant for you. This is great." He spoke into it, which gave me this beautiful rest and exhale.
Yeah.
But the first one, honestly, did keep me for 7 years on something that kept me healthier than being on dialysis, which I had been on for 4 years prior. But it also was told to me early on, and this is when other people can speak into your life, that it wasn't a good match and that there was something going on. So if you have something going on in your health, I allowed them. I felt the same. I literally was thinking about this as I'm going to share about it, in a couple hours. They asked, "How do you feel once you had the transplant?" Honestly, I felt better with both of them. I had color back in my skin. I didn't have to go on dialysis for hours a day. And yet, because they spoke into it, said something's wrong, and kept making appointments for biopsies and infusions, that kept me to where I'm like, when is this going to end?
Yeah.
Someday I'm going to wake up, and every
Yeah.
morning, I haven't told this for a while, every morning I would wake up, I go to the restroom like everybody else, you go pee, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how is this pee? Is this the end of it now? And I would literally look at my output. Was it good? Was it bad? And was my body about to fail again? So when you are living that way, everything else is not really safe either, because I'm not safe. I didn't feel the safe. So every morning I was waking up going, "It's today the day." And when I finally admitted that, and I did have, my body was failing because that kidney ended up failing, and I went back on dialysis, and I had to go back onto the transplant list. And so I told my urologist that story. It's like, yeah, every day I'd wake up, I'm like, "Is this the day?" And he literally stopped what he was doing, and he looked at me and he's like, "What a horrible way to wake up every day." I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, it really was. Because I gave my power away. I had 7 years, great years on that. I could have fully lived it, still knowing, yeah, it might not live. I don't know if this one's going to live. But I made a conscious choice this time to go, today's a great day. We
Yep.
don't know what the heck's going to happen, right?
That's all we ever have is today.
We don't know what the heck is
Yeah.
going to happen. We just don't have to stop
No.
moving because of it or think today's the worst day. My life is going to end today. I'm going to get in a car crash. Who would do that? But I was doing it. And if you know somebody who's living because of a illness, please speak into them. Share, show up for them. This is part of what we do in community. I want to
Mhm.
know if you're going through something, reach out to me. Doesn't mean that as soon as I reach out to Tracy, she's going to start charging me. She wants to coach me. Yeah, I want to be there for you. I mean, if that's a constant, if you want to do coaching, that's great. But I am here in this community every morning every week rather, on Tuesdays in the morning here with y'all. Like Jess and Pam, you show up and just talk.
Mhm.
Ask me questions. What's going on? And sometimes we coach and sometimes we're just here
Mhm.
together. And thank you for doing that. So I learned from that experience to wake up every day in gratitude. That's what I learned, how much and value of my morning routine, because it set the tone for I just didn't get up and start turning on the gas and hitting the gas and turning on my car and looking at my phone and outsourcing my power. I sit there now for a few minutes and I breathe and I love my life. I appreciate, add value to. To appreciate means to add value to. So I appreciate my life. I appreciate my bed. I appreciate, start looking around. What do you appreciate?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pam has a million cats. Not
Oh
really.
yeah. Well, they're awfully loving and good company. They really are. I was thinking as I'm listening to you about um, that. You're when a while ago when you're talking about memory, your body remembers. Right now, what's going on with me right now is basically the fact that in April, on Sunday, it will be the 15th year since my husband died. And that's amazing to me. Was it 15th? And I didn't listen to this. And I feel so guilty when I can't remember exactly. It was 2013 on the 26th of April. And it's not sad, but my body knows. My body remembers what spring was like. Will you stop it?
Mhm.
I'm sorry. My body remembers what spring was like. And then adding to that, June 2nd's coming up, and that's when my son died unexpectedly 5 years ago. And it's just like, it's not that I dwell on it, but your body remembers. And your body remembers, I guess, the trauma. I mean, I always think of trauma as something bigger, but I know it's a trauma what I was living with, my golly. And losing Chris was a horrible traumatic thing. And losing Robert, I mean, I took care of him for 3 years with cancer. And I did things I never thought I'd do. And he had a 23-inch wound in his stomach that wouldn't heal. And I treated the wound. I mean, I kept him alive and kept him wanting to be alive. And I remember sitting and saying, "Do you want me to continue to be your cheerleader? Are you tired?" And he was, "No, I want you to be my cheerleader." And so, it was great. But I know that feeling that you felt personally for yourself. I remember nights, Robert couldn't sleep in the bed after a while. So he slept out here in a recliner, and I would leave the doors to the bedroom so I could see him, and I'd be in bed. But I never really, for probably 3 years, I didn't sleep very deep. And I would come out. I remember one night he was coughing and he was scared. And he said, Pam, I think I made a mess. And because he had ostomy bags and everything. And I came out and I turned the light on, and there was blood all over the floor. Wouldn't have, laminated floors, but would laminate. And I just directed him. I didn't want him to look at it because I knew he would panic. I said, "You're okay. You're okay." I brought paper towels. I just put them on the floor. I said, "There's a little mess on the floor," because he had gastrointestinal fluids coming out of his body. He had so many things coming out of his body. And you know what? It was okay. I got him through it. I got myself. And I don't know how I did it. And looking back on it, how did I do those things? But
If
I
you
was more concerned for how he felt and how he took care of things. And then we monitored him. And we said, if we need to go to ER in the morning, I'll call the doctor. We'll run into ER. And we did. And we had wonderful doctors and surgeons helping us, and they worked with me as a team. We would brainstorm together. I said, well, I mean, they were wonderful. But those were traumatic times, waking up every morning wondering how my husband was going to be.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, but so that's what I'm working through. A lot of that stuff, a lot of those things come back, and they're not coming back as bad. When he passed, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful passing. I felt so honored to have been there with him, and he died at the home, and he woke me up and said, I'm going now. And he woke me up, and I stayed with him, and I sang to him, and I saw him leave. And it was just, I will cherish that forever. But when I look back on the enormity of it, you can get through a lot of stuff that you never thought you could get through.
Yeah.
But again, those things, even though they're not making my life horrible, I like my life just fine. It's sometimes your body just remembers, and it's not like I'm having bad dreams about it or anything. Your body just feels it still. I feel it still to this day,
Really,
especially this time of
very
year.
appropriate. We can feel it. And you know what, Pam? I'm really grateful that you talked through it,
Uh-huh.
because sharing that is something that helps to release it. So I
Mhm.
often talk about, what are we saying to ourselves? Because
Yeah.
if you're saying it in your head, something negative, the
Hmm.
focus then will be on more negative, and we'll find
Yeah.
more negative, as we were just talking about. Oh my gosh, for just a moment, I would wake up and go, is this the day? Is this the day? And that would be my focus every morning.
Hmm.
Now I rarely ever have that, but on occasion it'll
Hmm.
just come to me on how I used to be. And I
Hmm.
know now I am healthy, and I'll say that. And so there's just so much science. It's not woo that supports this. How we breathe is science. It supports
Oh
this.
yeah.
Your
Oh yeah.
body keeps score. That's science. It supports that. So when we speak, you in the beginning, if you even notice, your throat got a little. You weren't like that before, and you're not like that now. The beauty is
Hmm.
that we've released so much when we
Hmm.
speak. So I often encourage the words, and we start with the baby decrees of I can, I will, I can get up. I can get through this day. I will make it through this day. I can I can survive. I will
I
survive.
choose. I choose is my favorite.
That's the next one. I choose. I love it.
Yeah.
I choose to survive. I choose health. I choose love. I choose wealth. And we choose these things. And then I love money. I love health. I love my husband. I love me. And then I breathe. And so it's a full embodiment when we do these. And
Mhm.
that's the beauty of breath work and our words and how we unprocess it. And it starts to be that easy. So
Mhm.
thank you for sharing. Thank you both. That was really beautiful,
Mhm.
Pam. I love
Yeah. Thank you.
let's breathe. I wanted to do a 4-7-8 breath. I
Okay.
want to explain it real quick. The reason we do a 4-7-8, why do we breathe? We breathe to slow down. And this breath is a hold included with it. So we do purposely slow down. Now, if you are pregnant, I don't want you to go around and hold your breath at the top a lot at all. But you can do these for just a few breaths. Everyone can. But if you're listening perhaps while you're driving, please don't do it while you're driving. And this is a very safe breath to do. It's an in through your nose for 4 count, and you're holding it for 7. And then you're releasing it twice as long as your inhale. We're releasing and exhaling for a count of 8. So it's in for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. And let's do it at least 3 to 5 rounds together. And this is when we're holding. Notice in your body, do you feel anything? Are you holding on to something today that you can notice, name, and reclaim it as something that is for you? That you can start to say, I will do X, Y, and Z. I choose to do my money today. I choose to be in health today. I choose to eat well today. I choose to call my mom today. What is it that we are choosing that we can love and will breathe together? So I love to ground. I'm going to put my feet flat on the ground
Yep.
here. Put my hands on my knees and take a breath. Relax your shoulders for a moment. Just roll your shoulders back. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Just have a couple clearing breaths first. 2 more. Just in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Relaxing a little deeper. 1 more together. This is just clearing our body. Exhale. And now beginning a 4, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and breathe out your mouth. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Breathe. You got it. Back in. 4, 4, 2, 1. Fill up your belly and hold. 5, 4, 3, 1. Exhale for 8, 7, and 6, and 5. Inhale. 4, 3, 2. What are you receiving on that inhale? And hold. 2, 1. Exhale. That's it. 7, 6. Let it go. Contract your belly. Really breathe out here. Back in. Slowing way down. 4 and hold. That's it. 2, 1. Exhale and for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You can do it. Back in. Let's do it again. 2, 1 and hold. Notice the spaciousness that you're creating in your body. This is the capacity to hold. Go ahead and let it go. Dropping your shoulders, releasing any weight, any burdens here. Let's do 2 more together. In. Filling up through your diaphragm and hold. Bring to mind something sweet. Focus on something here that's beautiful. Maybe you breathed in a rose, the smell of some flower, and you held that, and now let it go. Get back into your body just a little bit with 1 more breath, and do it again. What are you sensing? Can you hear something new? 3, 4, holding now for 7, 6, 5. And when you're ready, just let it go slowly, so slowly. And with intention, before you open your eyes, what is it today? What is the shift that you felt right now? What is one thing you're going to focus on? One feeling word, one word of feeling. Is it that you're feeling abundant? If you're feeling bountiful, maybe beautiful, maybe cheerful? What is one feeling word that you can capture before you let it go? And all day today, as you come back into the room, you can remember that. Anytime you start to notice your attention veering off course, I feel is one of the decrees. I feel safe. I feel light. I feel creative. I feel free. I feel healthy. And I'm feeling very much grateful that you were here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And every Tuesday, we'll be back next Tuesday. We're talking more about our nervous system. This is the season for it. And I appreciate you. I am worthy exactly as I am, and so are you. Have a blessed day.
You too.